Hello, my name is Serena Harris, and my research proposal project is on increasing self-esteem, grit, and growth mindset in elementary students. The project will focus on increasing these attributes in students. Here are some definitions of the attributes that I'm talking about. Grit is defined as the strength to push through challenges and to reach goals. Self-esteem is how a person views and values themselves, while growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be increased through dedication and hard work. This study will add to the body of research about increasing these attributes in elementary students. So far, there are limited studies in increasing self-esteem, growth mindset, and grit in students. There are some, but the research is not expansive. And most of the research focuses on older students, such as college level. This study will be useful to teachers, parents, nurses, and psychiatrists. These qualities in a person can affect depression, substance abuse, how they view their life, such as low life satisfaction, and increasing these qualities in students may prevent these negative consequences later in life. My research question is, what is the effect of a targeted program of weekly lessons and exercises on elementary students' self-esteem, grit, and their maintenance of a growth mindset? The literature review that I did presented this information. Low self-esteem affects people's life satisfaction, the likelihood of depression, and the beginning of substance abuse. Increasing grit and growth mindset can help people overcome obstacles and increase their self-esteem. This shows that they're connected in a way. So increasing grit and growth mindset, in turn, will hopefully increase self-esteem. To increase grit, growth mindset, and self-esteem, a handful of programs have been attempted successfully. The type of study is a casual comparative study. The subjects I'll be using are elementary students, at least ages 8 through 11 years. This is because they need to be able to read. Their race and gender will be mixed and is dependent on what is available in the school. The subjects will take 3 multiple choice tests before and after the program. This is to get an idea of where they lie on in these characteristics, like how much grit they already possess, how much self-esteem they already possess, and this is in order to compare it to a post-test to see if the program had any effect. The tests that we will be using are the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Test, the Duckworth Grit Test, and the Dweck's Mindset Inventory Test. The targeted program that I am going to perform with the children can be anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks long. I would personally prefer it to be as long as possible, but it really depends on what is approved and what the principal of the school is okay with, as well as the classroom teacher, as I will be doing this program during my clinical practice, so it needs to be an acceptable duration for the classroom teacher as well as for the principal and staff. I would prefer it to be 2 sessions per week of 30 minutes. However, most likely it's going to be only 1, as that would take up a lot of time away from the classroom. The sessions will first introduce the concepts one by one to the students. We don't want them to be overwhelmed, but the lessons will be informative, introducing the concepts, but they will also have the students practicing good habits to develop the desired characteristics. So the students will be performing activities as well as learning traditionally about these characteristics that we want them to develop. Lessons on increasing grit will focus on goal commitments, on follow-through, and on reaching attainable goals, And we'll also include a positive reinforcement section for any small goals they achieve. Lessons to increase growth mindset will use the educational program called Brainology, which was created by Carol Dweck, who has done the majority of research on growth mindset. Brainology was created for elementary students, and it is a combination of animated lessons and lesson plans, as well as activities to do with a class. Lessons to increase self-esteem will focus on self-reflection exercises, positive affirmations, and identifying factors that lower self-esteem in order to prevent them in the students and in the way they think. The results from the pre-tests and post-tests will be compared to see if the students scored higher on the post-tests, and this would mean that the program was successful. A graph will be used to show the difference, and a t-test will also be conducted on the data to determine whether there's a significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test. This is an example of what the comparison graph would look like. In this example, I used the mindset test, but it would be for all the tests that we'll be taking, the 3 of them. The first bar on the graph will represent the pre-test, the pre-program test, and the second bar underneath student 1 would represent the post-test that same student took. The students may not have an option regarding their participation in the class and/or the targeted program. Ideally, the students would opt to be in this program themselves. However, that may not be logistically possible. The students may also disallow their data to be used in this study, and all standard classroom procedures will be followed in this study. The subjects won't be random because they will be limited to who is in the school, so representation of all sexes, genders, and ethnicities, as well as cultural backgrounds, may not be adequate in the study because it is dependent upon who is enrolled in the school. The program may also not be long enough to see any real change in the students. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful evening.